So, there's a little state, a place called California. Apparently, according to Tupac, it knows how to party. So, yeah, California knows how to party. However, according to someone else, California is apparently what is wrong with our society. Let's find out why. So this video that we're gonna check out is called "California Is Everything Wrong with Society" by the YouTube channel Moon. I like their videos because they have some pretty interesting pretty interesting content. So I'm curious to see why they think California is wrong in society. Maybe you should move to Detroit or Florida. Florida might be okay. I don't know. But Detroit is like one of the most violent capital in the States, I think. But as always, link to this YouTube channel and links to the video will both be in the description below, so be sure to check them out. Let's get it.
California's sunbaked beaches and Mediterranean climate have made it seem like a dream come true to anyone who saw it. For centuries, people traveled from across the entire world to the state, hoping to build a new life. With Hollywood pictures romanticizing life in California, its beautiful nature, and all the money circulating there makes it seem like a paradise on earth. But today, everything seems to be changing in California.
California is paradise.
Oh yeah, Detroit become human.
You have to work really, really hard to ruin paradise, but we did it once, and they're doing it again in California. They did it in the Garden of Eden, and now they're doing it in California.
It's hard for me. It's hard to see how people think California is paradise. I don't see how, because I know Hawaii is apparently like paradise. Because I remember people saying that same thing, and I've been to Hawaii. Like the weather there is always fun. Like we used to get out when I was in school in Hawaii. We used to get out of school for thunderstorms. Like for thunderstorms, like just a normal, like that's how rare of an occurrence it was in Hawaii. Like it's shit's about a thunderstorm. Yo, school is canceled for thunderstorms. I loved it. It was paradise. It was great. I miss it. Then after a while of being there, you feel like you're kind of you can't go anywhere because it is an island. So you kind of get that like I don't know feeling of being trapped. But
Fortunately, what used to be paradise on Earth has now become a living nightmare for those who live there.
Yeah,
California's largest cities have been decimated by economic chaos, an explosion in crime, and a rapidly growing homeless population.
You are
so
right.
if you want to pay $2,500 to $3,000 a month in rent for a tiny one bed, all while surrounded by crime and poverty, then Los Angeles or San Francisco could be the right city for you.
Hell no.
It's a tragedy how far California has fallen. Its cities were always a little rough around the edges. Any large city in the US is. But 10 years ago, a controversial change to state laws pushed California off the edge, and that was called Proposition 47. And it came into effect in late 2014, and since then, the entire state seems to have been plunged down into this dystopian vision. Now, the changes it made were relatively simple. Lots of crimes that used to be felonies were recategorized into misdemeanors.
Holy shit. That sounds dumb. You always wanted to move from LA anyway, so yeah. So you're not that offended? Okay. Because, bro, when a state changes crimes that are felonies into misdemeanors, you know it's about to get bad. That was a warning sign. That was a warning flag. And then now, that happened when? Back in when? 2014? Almost 10 years ago? Shit. No wonder people are leaving California so often. So drugs, money laundering, or counterfeits. I'm guessing this is a robbery, and then like maybe money laundering, or not money laundering, but like what's this, another counterfeit maybe. And then what would this be? Stealing? I don't know. Excuse me. But from felonies to misdemeanors.
The US, a felony is a charge for a serious crime which often leads to jail time, while a misdemeanor is less serious, more like a parking ticket. The most important crimes that got downgraded were theft, shoplifting, and fraud. If the value of whatever was stolen or defrauded was under $950, then the most you could expect to see was a fine. It also decriminalized the use and possession of hard drugs. If you got caught with any amount worth under the $950 cutoff, then it was barely worth it for the police to even take notice. It might seem obvious now how bad of an idea this was, but there was a vision behind it. The lawmakers who pushed it through said it was designed.
I guess that's why so many people are breaking into places and just stealing, because it's not like they're going to actually do time. It's like a slap on the wrist now. Instead of them actually having to do jail time, they just have to pay a fine. Ah, you stole something. You stole a lot of stuff. Pay this fine. Go back to what you're doing. Shoot. Instead of actually having to face the consequences and do jail time. Holy shit, man.
And to ease the pressure of police by changing the focus of government away from punishment and towards
Instead of easing the pressure of police by turning fraudulent, like those type of crimes from jail time to misdemeanors, why not ease the pressure of the police by hiring more police or bringing in more work for, or you know what I'm saying, give incentives to hire more police, or give incentives for people who want to be more police. Like, I don't know, like instead of just lowering the results of crime, instead of just saying, hey, you know you did a bad thing, pay a fine and you're good. Instead of doing that, why not just actually like hire or get more police out there to lower the stress or whatever that the police were facing.
Rehabilitation and education, they thought.
See, they forgot the huge ass amount of prostitution. Holy shit. It's like when you got into trouble, you got you got that one belt and that didn't even hurt. Exactly. And especially it's not just like that, but it's like you get into trouble and you know the belt that doesn't hurt, and then your parents, your dad tells you to go get your belt, go get the belt, and go, and like as if they were trying to let you pick your punishment. And it's like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to the belt that doesn't hurt. I'm definitely gonna get that one. So it's like it's even worse. It's like doing that.
They could tackle the root causes of the state's problems, which sounds great on paper. With fewer people to arrest and imprison, money could then be diverted away from the police and towards better things like schools or care for the homeless. Of course, when the law actually came into effect, this wasn't even close to what ended up happening. One of the most obvious and destructive effects has been the rise of serial shoplifting in California. It didn't take long for criminals to realize they could pretty much take what they wanted from shops. As long as each hit didn't add up to the $950 felony amount, they could get off scot-free. And there was nothing anyone could do about it. Now, these were still technically.
Hey yo, this TV, this flat screen, it's been out for a minute now. It's only $900 now. It's only $900 now. So if we steal this, it's not gonna hit the $950 felony mark. We can just get out. Like, that's crazy, bro. How the fuck are veterans homeless? Yeah, exactly. The veterans should not be like, that's how the country in itself is. I mean, but that's why when you look at it, you go like, hold on, list of best countries to live. Best countries in the world. Switzerland. The United States is not number 3. There is no way that the United States is number 3, because I think I've seen another entire whole list where the United States was like number 40 something. Like, oh well, this is obviously U.S. news, so that's the overall ranking of best countries, global performance. Nah, son, best countries to live. Quality of life. Okay, Denmark, Switzerland, Canada. Where's the United States? Where is the United States? United Kingdom's number 11. Japan, quality of life. Wasn't Japan like number 2? Huh, never mind. Japan, Ireland. We're still going. We're still going. 20. There it is. Quality of life. Number 22. Way down there. We're down there, bruh. Maybe I should move to Sweden or Switzerland or Denmark or something, bro. Or Norway. Shit. Oh, Canada. Like, bruh. Like the states. There's so much we can improve on, but we're not just. It's like we don't want to. Like, our veterans are homeless. We got states that are like this, where there's a $950 limit before you have to do jail time. Like, you can rob, yeah, go for it. Just make sure it's under $950. You're good, bro. Come on, man. You love to move to a different country if you could speak anything but English. There's some of these other countries are mostly English speaking. But yeah, that's why you have to start going and learning some languages, bro. You gotta start learning new languages. You playing the Canadian airport. Blame Canada thing. That's some South Park shit. Blame Canada. Blame Canada. But shit, Canada was like number 5, I think. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, Canada's a good place to go right now. Way better than the States. We were number 22.
Crimes, but they just weren't really punished anymore. The police had been made powerless to intervene through underfunding and more hoops to jump through before a conviction. It meant that shoplifters could only get in trouble if a security guard caught and detained them, often waiting hours for the police to show up. When they did, the guard would then have to go to court on his own time and provide evidence that proved the crime.
Oh,
then
that's even
and only
worse.
then would the shoplifter get punished. But
You have to go through all that just to make the shoplifter gets punished, and people aren't going to be willing to waste that kind of time. That's time that the guard could be at work making a living. That's time that, you know, waiting sometimes hours for the police to come and arrest the kid. I mean, the police could be working on other cases that are far more, you know, far more dangerous than shoplifting. But yo, that is crazy. Like, so it's almost like there's no reason for people to want to like catch shoplifters. And so that makes that gives the incentive, or people the incentive to shoplift so much more. I mean, yeah, there are going to be some sticklers that are going to are willing to waste the time and resources and effort to making sure one certain shoplifter gets jail time or gets punished. But how long until they feel like it's not worth it anymore, and they start letting their place get shoplifted easily, or they start putting up more cages and making it harder to shoplift? I don't know. But everything behind glass. People were behind bulletproof glass. Every item. Go to an electronics store. Every item is behind bulletproof glass. Like, that's how it's gonna be soon. It takes too long to pay taxes. The cops getting ready to kill me. Meanwhile, Mr. Peter killing his wife right in front of us. Exactly. That's how it is. Like, if it takes too long to do something, like, cops could be spending better time doing other things. So when it comes to shoplifting, they're gonna even be like, why are you bothering us with shoplifting? We could be spending our time doing other things instead of, you know, actually doing our job when it comes to shoplifting. But if it takes that long, it should not take that long to make a shoplifter, you know, have to face punishment. Yo, California's gonna go. Yeah, California's crazy, bro. I used to want to live in California too.
because it was now a misdemeanor, it usually just resulted in a fine of around $1,000. It's hard to say how many of these fines themselves were even enforced. The homeless people who committed the offenses are hard to track.
Wait. So let me get this right. Before it goes from a misdemeanor to, before it gets bigger than a misdemeanor, there's that $950 line that they can't cross, right? And then their fine is $1,000. So if they shoplift stuff up to $949.99, they're only gonna have to pay a fine that costs them an extra $50, or technically $1,000. But like they can steal up to $950 without having to. If they get away with it, that's fine. Is this? Hold on. Is this TSA private security? Bro, why are you just recording this? Shouldn't you be like acting? You're supposed to be private security. Are you not security for this building? Like, shouldn't you be like trying to arrest this guy? Hold him? Put him in holding? Like, put them in like some type of back room where y'all can hold your criminals while you wait for the police to come and get them? Like, what is he doing?
Down, and then you'd have to somehow get the money from them, which is pretty hard considering they'd almost certainly spent it already. This is what caused those infamous videos of people shamelessly looting stores in broad daylight, while powerless customers and shopkeepers watched helplessly. And it's made it so that California is now the top state in the country for retail theft, even despite the fact that most shoplifting goes unreported. It's mainly because there really isn't any point in even making the phone call anymore. Small businesses have been hit the hardest by this. They've tried to come up with ways to stop it, of course. Most shops in places like San Francisco or San Diego now keep most of their products behind protective glass, but even treating all customers like criminals hasn't really worked. 75% of small businesses lose between $500 to $2,500 in products every single month because of this epidemic of theft. There have been casualties across the state, but
I mean, if you think about it, even if you have stuff behind glass, they're just gonna ask you to unlock it because they want to buy it, right? And then once you unlock it, if you hand it to them, they could take off. But so it will be up to the person who unlocks the case to be like, I'll hold it for you behind the register. I'll hold it for you on the next to the register. And you gotta make sure you have a good grip on that, because they might try to take it from your hand and take off running. But this is what I could see happening. Like, for people who have businesses, even like for all the shops out there, unless you're like a Gucci store, like where all your products are over $1,000, unless you're a store like that, everybody is gonna be slowly like leave California and take their business elsewhere, relocate, because it's not worth losing money every day or every month, because people can shoplift up to $950 worth of stuff. They can just come back the next day, shoplift some more, and leave. And like, it's not worth the hassle. So it's California is slowly going to become a place where all the stores are $1,000 or more. Like, they only sell items that are $1,000 or more. That way you will have to do time if you try to shoplift. That's crazy, bro. Like, I don't know, man. I don't know. Everyone, don't play Hero. The PS5 is not worth your life. Fact, bro. The PS5 and the PS5 Pro are not gonna be worth your lives. So don't play Hero. Just let them take it. Let them take that shit, bro. And when GTA 6 comes out, oh my God, when GTA 6 comes out, I could see people that don't even live in California driving down to California just for GTA 6, just so they know that they can shoplift it and leave, because they won't have to pay for it. Just to shoplift the GTA 6 and then leave. If they do get caught, pay $1,000 fine. You don't do jail time. It's way under the $950 mark. Steal a PS5 while you're at it. Steal a PS5, steal a GTA 5. You might be able to get like a small monitor to watch it as well. Like something that's around the $300 mark. You're good. That's a good question. If you get caught, do you get to keep the game too? I mean, probably not. Obviously not, but that'd be funny if you did.
One example comes from Clement Street, a road in San Francisco that used to support tons of shops and small businesses. Unfortunately, they've been dealing with multiple break-ins and thefts as well as shoplifting, which are pushing them further towards bankruptcy. In an interview with local TV news, one of the business owners told reporters that, quote, "We just want to do our business peacefully and we want to feel safe when we're doing it, because running the business is already hard and we don't need something like this to add on top of it."
Facts. And a lot of these people like take out loans to start up these businesses. So they're low key. Some of these places start out in debt, and they don't want to have to like relocate, because that's going to cost even more money. And some people just can't relocate in general because they don't have the money to relocate. But they're definitely going. That's what. So the businesses are going to start closing. People are going to start selling it. So it's not going to be worth trying to maintain if they're always getting shoplifted, and if they can't move. So.
But before we continue, I want to tell you about our video sponsor. Have you heard that the flavored air category is quickly becoming the...
Okay, let's talk about fume real quick. Personally, I hate cigarettes, I hate tobacco. Since I have sickle cell anemia, that shit will fuck us up. I've seen what it's done to my brother. So cigarettes, nicotine, tobacco, I hate all that shit. If you're gonna smoke something, smoke weed. Or if you're trying to quit smoking in general, there's fume. They didn't even have to pay me for it, but you know what? I definitely support them. But just gonna skip past this. They didn't even have to pay me for it. But obviously, you know, hold on.
I mean, like, you're really missing out.
There's his links in the description below if you want to get fume yourself. So go to Moon's links in the description below, and you can, you know, purchase some fume there. So no offense, but I am gonna skip all that.
It brings us to another issue that comes from Proposition 47, a steep rise in more organized smash and grab heists. Gangs of criminals will often target entire high streets in one night.
Yeah, the USA after TikTok is banned. Yeah, everybody be happy, bro. Because TikTok is just brain rot, bro. We could do so much better without it.
Organized smash and grab heists. Gangs of criminals will often target entire high streets in one night, breaking into the shops one by one and taking whatever valuables they can find.
Hold up, why rob a Louis Vuitton store? I figured everything in there would be like over $950. If they get caught, it's a felony. But you know, that's why they organize these whole ass events. Shit, even Louis Vuitton might start pulling out then. Because if people can just organize a robbery, it's literally organized crime. Just have a bunch of people go in at once, steal some shit and leave. And I mean, because if you do that, there's more of a chance that you will make it out without having to get arrested by the time the cops get there. And it's more like a chance that you'll get away with it. So yeah, even Louis Vuitton stores are unsafe, bro. Can't wait for TikTok to be banned all over the world. That's a dream. That's a dream. Like, I doubt it'll happen. But bro, first off, you know in China, TikTok is completely different. It's all educational stuff. But here in America, it's just like brain rot content. So if America's TikTok could be like China's TikTok, then I would advocate to keep it. But there's no way it's gonna be ever gonna be like that.
Streets in one night, breaking into the shops one by one and taking whatever valuables they can find. It can only add to the massive pressure being felt by small businesses across California. Lots of them have been pushed to their breaking points or forced to close down. Cafe International, which has survived for 35 years in San Francisco, was forced to temporarily close in 2021 to deal with the damages. In a social media post, the owner blamed it on the massive rise in shoplifting and petty crime, as well as multiple break-ins. And thankfully it did manage to survive despite the continued assaults, but other businesses haven't been so lucky. Large retail chains like Target or Nordstrom have been assaulted.
I don't understand why people would like harass a cafe store though. Like, I guess just to rob them for money, but like, come on, man, it's a cafe store. Like, let them do their thing. Like, there's nothing really profitable, I mean, other than just what's in the register, but why risk it? I mean, guess there's not much risk anyway, because as long as it's under $9.50 and they don't get caught, then they get away with it. Oh my God, bro. That's terrible.
But other businesses haven't been so lucky. Large retail chains like Target or Nordstrom have had to close a bunch of their stores in LA and San Francisco because of this. It's this atmosphere of fear and apathy from the government that led California down this sorry road. The majority of the crimes have come from a small group of repeat offenders, but police have been prevented from actually cracking down on them. The proposition is now wide.
And if police aren't able to actually crack down on them, that's going to encourage that small group of repeat offenders to grow into a bigger group of repeat offenders, because they can constantly go tell their friends and their friends and their friends that, hey, we've been doing this for months and we ain't never been caught yet. They ain't even looking for us. So it's gonna slowly grow to a bigger group of repeat offenders. You're tired of dumb kids doing some cringy or poor performance dance and becoming millionaires or saying some random funny thing. Yeah, like Hawk to while we work a 9-to-5, bro. You know she has a podcast now too. It's like, apparently it's terrible, but I'll give her credit for at least trying for taking that Hawk Tua thing and pushing it as far as she did. I'll at least give her credit for that. She's trying to not work anymore. So at least give her credit for that. But yeah, that shit's ridiculous, man. But low key, I ain't gonna lie. That's why I'm trying to do YouTube and Twitch, because I'm tired of working a 9-to-5 job. I don't want to do that shit anymore. While other people are out here doing some random TikTok dances or podcasts and getting paid for that shit by ad revenue. Yo, I ain't trying to work a 9-to-5 anymore either. I ain't gonna lie. It's ridiculous. How the fuck is she a millionaire by saying Hawk to her? She sold a bunch of merchandise as well, and she captured the moment. I ain't gonna lie, that was a good move, but it's dumb as hell, right? It's dumb. Like, just for saying Hawk to us put on that thing, she took that and ran with it, bro. That's so like, it's so dumb. Like the phrase itself is dumb. Like, but she was able to become a millionaire off of it, or she was able to get rich off of it, make money off of it.
widely condemned by California's people, the majority supporting harsher punishments because of this spree of crime. The question still remains, where did all of the money go? If Proposition 47 was meant to free up resources to solve these problems, what did that end up looking like? Part of the plan was to put more money into California's homeless problem, which was only getting worse in 2014 when it passed. Looking at the state of things now though, it clearly hasn't worked. Over a quarter of the homeless population in the entire US live in California. There's around 180,000 of them, and that's only counting the people we know about. Between 2007 and 2022, the number of homeless went up over 30%. In just the year after that, it went up by another 5.7%. But why is it getting so much worse in California compared to other states? Homelessness and substance abuse go.
Yo, they really...
Why is it getting so much worse in California compared to other states? Homelessness and substance abuse go hand in hand. You can't understand one without factoring in the other. On the one hand, using hard drugs like amphetamines or opiates often can very easily lead people towards homelessness. It's the final stop in a tragic journey, the very bottom of the pit. A lot of the time though, it works the other way. People become homeless because of other reasons. Then they start using as a
Yo,
the time though,
that.
it works the other way. People become...
How are they standing like that? Like, they're obviously on something, but it's got them so fucked up that they're able to, that their upper body just stops functioning and it just falls to the ground while their lower body continues to stand. Like, how is that? Yo, what the fuck? I'm gonna stick to weed. I'm gonna stick to weed. Maybe some alcohol every now and then. Probably not. Like, I'm done with drinking too, because that's just poison. But like, I'm just gonna stick to weed, bro. Like, what the fuck? I'm just gonna stick to what I chill with, what I do, and like this is terrible. Just, you guys stay away from all this right here.
Homeless because of other reasons. Then they start using as a coping mechanism. It doesn't matter how it starts though. Frequent use and addiction keeps people on the
right. Yeah, people posting shit like this, like things that are actually serious, or people have actual funny things, but then, you know, this one girl randomly comes by saying "Hawk Tua." But the thought society, the 304, the host society took that in and embraced it and made her a millionaire.
Streets. It traps them in a cycle of using up everything they have to make sure they can get the next dose. By pretty much decriminalizing both drug possession and theft, while drug legalization is a good thing towards liberty, and it generally makes a lot of sense, Proposition 47 almost makes it so that open drug use on the streets is now normalized, and it makes it that much easier for people to get trapped in the spiral. First, there's shoplifting and petty theft, which we've all—
That's terrible. Hold on. Wasn't there a country? Let's see. Wasn't there a country or a city or a state? 14 years, yeah, Portugal. 14 years after decriminalizing all drugs, and here's what Portugal looks like. Let's see. 2001, blah, 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 history. This is a long ass article. No, it's not. Yes, it is. No, it's not. No, it's not. But I'm pretty sure Portugal is like chill now. As Portugal faces a precious financial situation, there are risks that the country could seek investment. Browsing through Amazon. Well, what the fuck? But I'm pretty sure, like, after they decriminalized all drugs, it's not even like that bad of a place anymore. Like, because there's no like the rush or high off just doing something that's supposed to be illegal. I'm pretty sure after they decriminalize all drugs, it's not even that bad of a state anymore. Not even that bad of a country. I don't know. I have to go back and check. Don't quote me on that. Portuguese being one big drug house is wild. That's true. Like, they decriminalized everything, bro. That shit's crazy. But I think they're still doing this fine. I think they're chill. I don't know. I'll have to go back and check. But I'm not sure. Not sure, but I think they're chill.
Already talked about. Now that it isn't really punished, addicts always have a way to make enough money to get their next hit. With drug possession effectively decriminalized as well.
And by chill, I mean, I think the drug use in Portugal actually declined, like decreased. I'm not sure, but I'll have to go back and actually check. But I think the drug use in Portugal might have actually decreased after they decriminalized all drugs.
there really isn't any need to hide it anymore. The cops don't have the time, the resources, or the permission to deal with it, so people buy, sell, and use drugs in public. Far from trying to stop this, Proposition 47 has actively encouraged it. A large part of the money that is freed up went towards harm reduction for addicts, and they're generally well-intentioned programs. Giving addicts access to free healthcare can only be a benefit, but they also offer other services, like giving people access to clean needles, and even in San Francisco, apparently alcohol. Now, if they're using clean and sterile equipment, then addicts are less likely to get bloodborne diseases, which is a good thing, and it might have helped if that were the only dangers of drug use. But the kinds of opiates that we see today on the streets are so potent and harmful, it doesn't really matter. They'll often just kill people far quicker than the disease ever could. But it's also meant that any addict has everything they need to keep using, all completely for free. They have everything they need, and the police aren't putting them into mandatory rehab programs either like they used to. And the results have been tragic to say the least. In the years—
Imagine if they did try to put them in mandatory rehab, like, and try to look at this. The drug overdose deaths from slightly over 4,000 in 2014 to over it's more than doubled. It's like tripled. Well, almost tripled. It's like 11,000. It's almost tripled since 2014. Well, this only goes to 2022. This doesn't even go to current day. Can't even eat without YouTube. Neither can I, to be honest. Actually, I try to watch K-dramas now because K-dramas don't have that woke bullshit in it.
After Proposition 47 was introduced, overdose deaths exploded in San Francisco, rising from around 100 a year to over 500. There are other factors at play here, like the increased potency of the drugs themselves, but it's undeniable that Proposition 47 hasn't played a major role. In New York, for example, overdose deaths have increased, but only by around half the rate. We just haven't seen the same spike in other cities across the country. The last nail in the coffin is the ratio of homeless people that aren't living in some kind of shelter. Around 70% of California's homeless population live outside of shelters, far more than any other parts of the country. First, there's the problem of who they let in. Lots of the money that went towards shelters really aren't suitable for most homeless people. They often have strict rules banning drug use and pets, which already blocks a massive part of the homeless population from using them. California's near-perfect climate actually makes things worse.
But I get why they would ban drug use, and I mean, I don't get why they would ban pets in those homeless shelters. I don't get why they would ban pets, but banning drug use, at least, that's smart. I mean, if you're gonna live here, you have to at least try to get clean and try becoming a functional member of society again. That I get, but banning pets? Come on, pets are sometimes like what drives people to do better. You know what I'm saying? It's like, I gotta make sure I can take care of my pet. Pets are good for rehab. Like, bruh.
In this case as well. In New York, around only 5% of the homeless population actually sleeps on the streets. For a large part of the year, it's just too cold to survive outside with just a sleeping bag or a tent.
Bro, it's only a matter of time until Prime is illegal.
But that's not true in places like Los Angeles. Then there's the fact that addicts have most of their needs provided for anyway, and the police really don't interfere. So why not set up your tent on the main high street? The result of all of this has been tent cities and open-air drug markets that we see on the streets of California today. And they've simply made these cities far worse places to live in.
In their estimation, 85 to 90% of the police calls for service deal with the homeless in some fashion. Most of these crimes are committed by mentally ill or drugged up homeless people rather than some group of organized criminals, which is something you see a lot in LAPD jurisdiction. Even though there are plenty of facilities aimed at helping these people, the harsh reality is that most transients are either suffering from severe mental illness or drug use. They then went on to say that it's not an easy fix, and ultimately it needs to be handled on a much bigger level if we're ever going to see any progress.
Take the Hollywood Walk of Fame. It used to be one of the biggest tourism landmarks in the state. Now, most people avoid it. It's known as being a dangerous area, especially according to locals who already know what's going on there.
I'm living somewhere where I don't feel safe taking my mom for a walk. I don't feel safe sending my nieces to the store if they came to visit me.
The homeless encampments nearby make it a hostile environment. Even the smell is apparently awful. The crime though is the worst part. Assaults, stabbings and murders are much more common now. Each bad experience that someone has chips away at California's reputation. Now people do still come to see Hollywood today, but it's hard to say how long they'll keep coming with families if it continues to stay this way. Even just recently, Graham Stephan released a video about Santa Monica, showing how many shops are closing down and how crime is through the roof there.
Which means theoretically you could walk into a store, steal up to $950 of the goods, and then walk out without really any fear of consequence. Especially when most employees are are told not to get involved, by the time the police do show up, the suspect is long gone, and a lot of the cases honestly just aren't heavily prosecuted.
This is supposed to be one of the nicest places.
Bruh, when GTA 6 comes out, I'm telling you, when GTA 6 comes out, I will not be surprised if there's a mass of people that go down to California just to shoplift GTA 6. Bruh, all the stores that hold GTA 6, y'all better be careful. All the GameStops that are down there. Wait, actually, it might only be digital launch. I don't know. But either way, so let me take all that back, because there might not be any physical copies. I don't know if there's gonna be physical copies yet, but it might just be a digital launch, digital only. But there's any type of physical copies or any like physical electronic code that you can get to put into your computer to access the game. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. If it's not just straight online action, if there's any type of physical code that they can get or any type of physical thing that they can get in order to access the game, it's over with, bro.
This is in Los Angeles.
Could we clap the state of society right back to the 90s? Yeah, if only, bro. If only.
Now, local governments across California have tried to deal with this, moving the tent cities around or trying to uproot.
But if we did that, like, would we be able to keep ourselves from progressing in the same direction as we did? Or would we be able to, like, if let's say we could go back in time to like the 90s or some shit, would we be able to keep society from becoming what it is these days? Or would it become something better? Or would it become something worse? Wish we could like restart the whole social media thing. That would that would be nice. If only.
Entirely. But many of these initiatives have failed, like in San Francisco. Now, San Diego is often pointed to as a better example, but it's not really all it seems. Recently, they passed laws allowing the police to actually deal with the tent cities and move homeless people off the main roads, which has gotten them away from the schools and the main streets, but it hasn't solved the problem at all. They're still there, just in different places like under bridges or next to the highways. It's definitely not a long-term solution. In fact, it mirrors the early stages of what could become a much larger problem. Brazil and its largest cities are home to absolutely massive slums.
Holy crap.
They also began as the equivalent of tent cities, large amounts of people living packed together in impoverished homes. As they grew into permanent shanty towns, the crime and the poverty only got worse. The environment creates gang culture and chaos. Today, pictures of the favelas contrasted with the upper class mansions on the
holy shit. Like, which side of the fence would you want to be on? Like, if you were born on this side of the fence to the left, you would do anything you could, right? Steal, kill, you know what I'm saying, do all the crimes you needed to do in order to get to this lifestyle on the right side. I'm sure there's people that would do that. I know there are people that are trying to do that.
The other side of the hill are known around the world, and favelas are seen as one of the most dangerous places in the world. This is potentially a future that's unfolding right now in California, as you've got million-dollar apartments completely surrounded by desperate people without a penny to their name. And the results are clear to see. Entire communities are now crumbling under the pressure. Issues like homelessness can seem so complicated that you can't get your head around them. But one pretty simple reason it's getting worse in California is how expensive the alternative has become. Each time the rent goes up, which has been happening every year since 2011, it puts more families out on the streets. LA and California's other large cities are now some of the most expensive in the world, especially when it comes to housing. If you're living in some parts of California earning the minimum wage, you'd need to work the equivalent of 3 full-time jobs just to scrape by. It means that a lot of people working essential jobs which society couldn't function without are now being forced out of the system. It's completely unsustainable. But why has it gotten so bad? Well, a massive part of the problem is that there simply isn't enough homes being built. California is the most regulated state in the USA.
So he said homeless people in property and in trash houses and families and can't pay their taxes or bills, and children with no future, and a world stuck in a sad past. Oh yeah, I just said a hawk to and now I'm a millionaire. Yeah, it's just that's how it is, bro. That is the quote unquote American dream nowadays. That's American dream isn't really, you can't really call it a dream anymore. Like, it's just American goals or something, or American nightmare. Like, holy shit. The American Horror Story is what America is becoming, or is what California is, at least. And if that might spread, you know what I'm saying? That should, oof. I see why so many people are leaving California, man. Shit, a lot of people are leaving California and coming up here to Colorado. A lot of people are leaving California and going to Nevada. A lot of people are just leaving California in general. Holy crap. And I could definitely see it like Moon said earlier, becoming like the Brazil, the favelas and stuff like that. Like there's so many homeless and so many people. Well, there's also people leaving California, so there's places apart. Like if people start getting in there and squatting, then that's another open tear that's gonna be slowly keep spreading open and open before, you know, California just becomes like a lawless place where it's just like the biggest crime state in the states, in the United States. So California is good. It's not looking good, bro. Like
Their code of regulations, the book contains
the American dream is a loving wife, husband, 3 kids. That's the American dream, but that's more like the American distant dream. Well, that's not even a dream anymore. That's like whatever the American fairy tale. That's what that is.
all the administrative rules is over 21 million words long. It means their regulations are around 3 times stricter compared to the average state. And so building anything here is way more expensive than it should be. The fees, the permits, and the fines if you make any mistakes can lead to building a home or a block of flats cost 18% more than it should. And then there are the delays, and it can take years of waiting and therefore years of legal fees to get through all of the red tape. With all of these extra costs, it makes it far riskier for construction companies to actually build anything in the state.
Yeah, it's not worth
You can
it.
easily go bankrupt waiting for your permits to come through. They could go pretty much anywhere else in the country and make more money in a much shorter time. Proposition 47 was meant to help with this in a roundabout way. The money they took from the police was meant to build more shelters and housing to go towards solving the homeless problem, and it would go some of the way towards relieving the state's massive housing shortage. But a state audit in April showed how ineffective they've really been. It was revealed that despite throwing billions of dollars at the problem, the state of California rarely kept track of where the money was actually.
Bro, hell yeah. Had a dream and just wish that shit was real life. And then you wake up, it's like, oh fuck, that was just a dream. Yeah, that's pretty much. And you're right, if the American dream had stayed a dream instead of becoming a fairy tale, instead of slowly America turning the American dream into the American fairy tale, because the American dream is just the American dream now is surviving in California. Right now, you are living, bro. If you're living in California and you can survive without having to without fear of people trying to rob you, and you're living then that's the American dream. To actually live a good life, that's the American fairy tale.
going, or if it was actually helping. It's a statewide problem.
100 years we're all just numbers. Yeah, to the future. Yeah, that's true. We're just animals. They study with no impact. You made no study. We made no impact in society.
They spent $24 billion on programs to solve homelessness between 2018 and 2023. In the same period, the homeless population swelled by 30,000 more people. And it's really bad on just an individual city level as well. San Diego spent over $2 billion on homelessness programs between 2015 and 2022. It's really confusing how they could spend so much money while the problem still gets worse. But it makes a lot more sense when you look at what they've actually been buying with that taxpayer money. Recently, Santa Monica officials gave the go-ahead for building a set of basic apartments to house homeless people in. You might think that it's a step in the right direction. It's better than them living on the streets.
That would be a dream.
But the twist is that each of these units will cost over $1 million to make. An insane amount for basic homes, especially considering the city already owned the land itself. Contracts like these are probably the only reason any construction company stays in California anymore.
Couldn't these guys partner up with Tesla homes, Tesla tiny homes? They said some of these homes cost millions, or doing this thing cost millions. Couldn't they partner up with Tesla tiny homes and try to make a deal, make things work?
It all stinks of corruption. Billions of dollars have disappeared. The state doesn't even write down where it all went. And they've been putting scams like this for years.
See, it's not going to fix it. They're bankrupt. This state is bankrupt because they're incompetent. They're not going to become competent if you give them more money. You know, it's just they've managed the money that they got very poorly. They already have high taxes. There's a 13.5% state income tax here in California. And the place is still fucked up.
In 2022, the city of LA spent over $50 million on buying a 50-story luxury apartment building to move homeless people into.
Now, Joe Rogan just said it's the 13.5% state income tax in California. Imagine living there, and then you hear about like that. That's why a lot of people are going to would rather leave California and go to Nevada, because Nevada has 0 state income tax. Imagine how much money people that leave California and move to Nevada save. Imagine how much money that's, bruh. And of course, they don't have to worry about their businesses getting broken into.
It really seems like an awful decision to begin with, but over 2 years later and they still haven't filled even a single one of those apartments. There's no way the best solution for homelessness was to buy luxury apartments at crazy prices and then not even use them. They haven't even bothered to hide how corrupt it all seems. This all amounts to millions and millions of taxpayer money that went out of the city's budget and into someone else's pockets. It should hopefully be clear now that California's idiotic laws are only the tip of the iceberg. They enable the corruption that's keeping California cities incredibly expensive, while also full of homelessness and crime. It's why the recently announced plans to scrap the Proposition 47 are a little too late. It's taken years.
When I stopped being homeless, felt too bad. Some random girl said talk to, and I was a millionaire. Oh, bruh, that's rough.
Years and years for people's voices to finally get heard, and now the damage has already been done. Even now though, with so much overwhelming evidence of its failures, Gavin Newsom and other Democratic lawmakers are dead set on keeping Proposition 47 in place. But eventually people couldn't keep ignoring what's right in front of them, and now there's bipartisan support to get rid of it. There's enough support to keep ignoring what's right in front of them.
You know this guy eating good. No, he's trying to ignore everything, all the crime and bullshit that's going on in California. He's trying to ignore it, man. He's eating good.
And now there's bipartisan support to get rid of it. There's enough support to get rid of it that reversing the law is now going to be on the ballot in the November election. At least that's if Newsom and his cronies can't put a stop to it. First, Newsom tried to get it removed completely, but he had to back down when even his fellow Democrats wouldn't let him. So he's moved on to a different option, delaying and complicating it. Despite his outward support for Proposition 47, he's now been trying to get his own watered-down version of the reform onto the ballot instead. His version wouldn't actually deal with the problems Proposition 47 has created. For example, it would only make selling other drugs laced with fentanyl a major crime, rather than actually dealing with fentanyl itself. Other than that, he's also introduced new laws to combat specific cases of serial theft. Now, it might put an end to the videos of people shoving shop merchandise into garbage bags, but it wouldn't really do much else. Suspiciously close to the upcoming general election, he's also suddenly been making public appearances clearing up homeless camps and passing laws to finally let police move them off the main streets. The common factor is that these are all moves designed to help with appearances while keeping the same moldy status quo. It isn't surprising that people have been leaving California in droves for years now. High prices, rents, crime levels and taxes have taken their toll on the people, and a huge exodus has begun. Over 2021 and 2022, nearly 750,000 people left the state alone, and that's after you offset the people that moved in, with people instead moving to states like Texas or Florida, which offer far lower taxes and much safer cities. It hasn't just been—
Hey, I think even you said yourself that you'd rather live in Florida. But there you go, far less taxes and much safer cities. There you go, bro.
People and families either, but small businesses are getting sick of the massive costs.
As a former resident of California, I have to question whether or not these are actually strict enough to make a difference, because let's be real, for this to really go into effect, a shoplifter would first have to get caught, likely on camera with proof. Their items would then—
Look, she's just sitting there chilling, wait. This guy doesn't even know how to get out of the building.
Likely on camera with proof.
Did she lock the doors or something on them? But she was just sitting there watching, chilling, laughing. But I don't know, maybe she was able to lock the doors on them.
Items would then need to be counted, most likely across counties, and then the state would have to keep proper records of everything just to be able to prosecute.
I mean, why would you pay double the rent and way more taxes just to open a shop next to a homeless encampment? The larger companies they used to call California home are the same. Tesla and Chevron have been moving their factories to Texas. Tons of tech companies like Meta and PayPal have abandoned San Francisco.
Businesses leaving California doubled from 2012 to 2019, but over 30 years, the state has experienced a net loss of 17,000 businesses. The study says it's high taxes, heavy regulation, and generally unfriendly business environments.
And it's really a terrible shame that this place of amazing natural beauty, rich culture has fallen so far. But today it's clear that the only people welcome in California either have tens of millions of dollars or no money at all. And it's the regular people that are suffering the consequences of this.
And eventually, those people, when it gets that clear line that eventually there's gonna be a clear line. You either live in California and you're part of the homeless, or you live in California, and you have tens of millions of dollars. And if that when that continues, the homeless are going to start outnumbering those with tens of millions of dollars. And then it's gonna move in to the homeless are just gonna move in to the people who have tens of millions of dollars. It's like they're not gonna care. It's gonna be like a zombie apocalypse. It's gonna crawl over each other's dead bodies type of thing, and they're just gonna go in and try and take what they can. Joe, California is about 20, 30, 50, I don't know, in less than a decade. In less than a century, California is going to be a like it's on track to being like one of the most dangerous places to live. Yeah, it's not a good look, yo. It's not a good look. So get less than a century, maybe even 50 years. Like maybe less than 50 years. I don't know, but it might be a good idea to start getting out of California. They may not like. It's definitely not like Tupac times, bro. California knows how to party. It's not like Tupac times anymore. But let me know what you guys think about this video in the comments below. This was California is Everything Wrong with Society by the YouTube channel Moon. As always, link to the video, link to the channel will both be in the description below. Be sure to check them out. And while you're there, don't forget to do those 3 things I like to ask you to do. And like, comment, and subscribe. And don't forget to hit the notification bell for more videos. Yeah. I almost forgot what I was gonna say. But anyway, you know what to do after that. In case I don't see you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night. Peace. Much love to you.